All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for another quick video here. Still recovering from my weekend trip. My lips are chapped to hell from standing outside in the freezing cold in line. But Path of Exile, Grinding Gear Games has just dropped a new patch, or sorry, not patch notes. The full patch notes are coming, but a breakdown of the upcoming changes. And I really wanted to go over these as a lot of these seem very cool. So I just want to kind of go through these and discuss how I feel about these things. So. Yeah, they've been live for a week almost, or a little over a week, I should say. And yeah, because well, Friday where I couldn't play, and then Saturday till now, so a little over a week. Um, so there's really been a lot of feedback, and I think that's great. I think that's exactly what they want and exactly what they need. And as a number of other people have said, the skeleton of the game is great. There are things that need to be tweaked and changed, and obviously we're still in early access, so I'm so excited to see the kind of stuff we're bringing in here. So. They're adding in the capacity to fast travel between checkpoints within an area. I honestly cannot wait for that. It's going to be a big game changer in my opinion. So looking forward to that. More checkpoints is also nice, although less relevant until they add in the fast travel. Making okay, we will be making passive point respecking cheaper, especially at high levels. This is going to make a lot of people very, very happy. It had a relatively aggressive curve, getting more expensive with character level. Which yes, fun fact. The first time I tried respecking, I was in my like mid 30s, I think, level, and I was like, wow, this is a little pricey. That sucks. That sucks. Like that's going to be hard to deal with. And then recently, I made a new character, and like I screwed up some points early, and I was like, oh god, well I have some gold. Let me just fix this now before it gets worse. And it was like dirt cheap. It was like 100 gold or something, and I was like, oh okay, so it just gets more expensive the higher level you get. So that's good. They flatten the curve so it does not grow as exponentially. Approximately 40 to 50% less gold cost for respecking between the start and the middle of end game progression. So that's good. Um, I still think that during early access they should consider free respecs for patches. Like if a patch has big balance changes, but this is a good start at least. Players were finding the trial of second moss particularly frustrating in close range. Yes, so we've reworked how honor damage scales when in close range, as well as fixing an important bug that was causing players to take far too much honor damage from dots. So now it scales down based on minion distance. So when in close range, you'll take 35% less honor damage, tapering off as you get farther away. So that's great because it was very, very punishing for melee players. I honestly, like, to the point where I don't know that this is going to be enough, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. And again, they've said before, we'd rather do incremental changes to get to the sweet spot rather than go too far, because then coming back, you can't put the cat back in the bag. You can't reclose Pandora's box. The bug with damage over time stuff that 3 times as much damage as intended. Skitter golems no longer use basic attacks and instead now just explode. That's actually kind of nice, because they were so annoying because they would run up and like just start smacking away at you and then blow up. Serpent clans burrow and ambush attack now has an improved visual telegraphing. Nice. And cannot be used. Yeah, they were burrowing from like way off screen. I actually just was dealing with that today. And volcanoes created by Rattle Cage's Fisher Slam now last half. They lasted so long. I was like, for a little while, I was like, do these just like last the whole time? And then it's kind of like a timer, like a time gate. Like if you can't kill them fast enough, you're just screwed. So it's good that they're reducing that a little bit. All right, so that's big because this was one of the reasons I actually told my buddy not to play a melee class, and now I can actually message him and say, "Hey, you can try out a melee class if you want." I mean, you could either way, but he was brand new, and I was like, for your first character, I would recommend don't go melee. But now it looks like I don't have to recommend that as strongly, which will make him happy. Endgame and monster balance. Generally, the balance in endgame maps was more punishing than intended, so we've toned down the damage in a number of ways, and disabled a certain on-death effect where the telegraphing was not as clear as it should have been. Maps no longer have additional elemental resistance penalties inherently applied at tier 6 and 11 on higher maps. It is now consistent across all of the endgame. That's interesting. I'm glad I did not make. I was considering making a video about resistances, and this would have actually changed that. So I'm glad I held off. Chaos damage also scales less aggressively. Nice. Chaos damage, you'd be surprised how much stuff does chaos damage. Like poison does chaos damage. Which is just, my first exposure to it was with the witch with like her purpley stuff, and so like it didn't feel poison at first, but like I'm seeing now it's like poison and a lot of other things too. Lowered the baseline monster density of breach encounters primarily by reducing the frequency of the elite monsters appearing. All right, that's the monster density is relatively low across the board in this game, so that makes sense that they're kind of bringing this down from what I've heard. Again, I haven't been able to get to endgame yet. I'm pushing as hard as I can, but I have to go back to my day job now. So I think I'm almost done with Act 2 on my witch. I'm also splitting between multiple characters, so that doesn't help. Disable the volatile crystals modifier. We'll revisit this in the future pending. Yep, good. That's fine. Turn this off for now. If it's making everybody miserable, fix it and then put it back in. That's exactly what they should do in your early access. Purple explosives created by volatile plant modifier on rare monsters now significantly deals significantly less damage. Cool. I know a lot of people are complaining that like white mobs could just annihilate you, just like 100 you without even a blink. So Siphon's flash charge modifier. Now drains 10 times less per. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense because these bad boys, I ran into one of these. I was playing a ranger, and I had just taken my basic arrow shot off my bar, so it was like everything had to use mana. And okay, this is flasks, but that drained all my mana, and that I had to like run around. But it was also draining I had a second one. It was two rares. It was miserable. It was a draining mana one and a draining flask one. So I just had no mana and I had no flasks, and I died. I 100% died. Yep. Result in an end game more survivable than before. That's great. More continue to address problematic cases as they arise. Awesome. Love to see it. Because again, I think respec costs and white monsters one-shotting people are the two biggest complaints that I've been hearing about this. Character and item balance. We've made charm modifiers on belts substantially more common and now appear at much lower levels. The of symbolism modifier now appears from level 23 onwards, and the of inscription modifier now appears from level 64 onwards. Okay, belts have felt weak, so that's nice. Not even weak, just uninteresting. Electrocute is now 25% harder to build up. That's probably for the best. The damage penalty has been removed from the support gem. Oh, okay. That's okay. Interesting. Electrocute's very strong, man. I'll tell you. I was using it on my ranger for a little bit. Added a new lightning damage and electrocute cluster to the passive tree in between the ranger and monk sections. Wow, interesting. It is now more difficult to chain freeze enemies by reducing the amount of freeze buildup applied after a freeze has been applied. I thought they already did this. Maybe they've just made it even harder. I don't know. Or maybe it was temporary. And this is now permanent because like I felt that when I froze an enemy, like my next couple attacks would do almost no freeze buildup, but then after waiting like 10-15 seconds, it would start doing regular amount of freeze buildup. Probably only like 5 to 10 seconds, not even 15. So I'm curious. That'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see how that's going to be. The Hunter Talisman now notable now grants +1 charm slot. Oh, Hunter's Talisman notable. The small passive skills leading up to it now grant the stat it formerly gave. Okay, so the charm help protect has been updated to indicate that you cannot have more than 3 charm slots unlocked, so that we can add more sources of it in the future. Okay, interesting. I always just assumed that all your charm slots came from your belt, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look into this one because unfortunately I haven't gotten super far into the end game or anything yet. But that's good to know. Having more charms is always cool. Skill and support gem balance. Since we launched, we've unfortunately had to nerf a few skills that were far too overpowered. Yes. How do we define overpowered? Basically, it's a situation in which a certain skill is so powerful that players feel no other method of playing the game is viable. Yeah, there are and have been a few of those. That's for sure. Generally speaking, we are trying to do this in a way that doesn't make a build bad, but we can make mistakes. Ideally, any truly meta shifting changes can only happen at the same time as a content patch with a new league to play in. Yes, that is end game what they want. End goal how they want to treat things. But that doesn't mean we haven't been looking at underpowered skills and support gems. Ooh, we've got a number of changes planned. Oh, I'm excited. Okay. Improve some of these skills. That's awesome. So improvements to rolling, slam, and all shield skills in the mace section. Very nice. I know that people have been, again, complaining about some of the slower plays of melee with a warrior. Various bow skills, especially skills used to generate frenzy charges. Improvements to bone spells and chaos damage over time spells in the occult section. That's awesome. I actually was really, I really want to make a chaos damage over time like occult witch build at some point. Improvements of various crossbow skills, especially those at higher tiers. That is interesting because I've noticed, because I've been playing a merc and witch have been the two that I've played consistently, and it's interesting. Like a lot of the builds are just like, yeah, you're gonna level up with these low tier skills just a ton. That's like your main thing. Okay, improvements to some of the underachieving quarterstaff abilities. My brother will love to hear that. He's a monk main. Alongside all these skill gem improvements, we've also done a pass over the support gems. We've added 2 new supports. Oh, I love that. And remove or lessen the penalties on many others, notably fire, lightning, and cold exposure supports. Oh, awesome. So they've added Tremor support gem, which can be used to give up to multiple more aftershocks to skills with a damage penalty. That's interesting. Added the bidding support gem, which can be used to give more damage to the command skills of supported minions. Oh, like do my bidding. Ooh, that's nice. That's very cool. I mean, it might make some minions builds other than summon Raging Skulls viable. Fire, yeah, all the exposures no longer penalize damage. They now have a mana cost multiplier. Okay, interesting. That's actually really nice. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So there are some notable nerfs to a few remaining overachieving skills. Skeletal Arsonist. Ooh, Spirit Claws now match the other 2 mages. This should result in a slight decrease in the number of Arsonists at a higher level. Damn, this is what I've been using on my witch, but I think I have like 20 spirit just kind of unallocated at the moment, so I probably won't even feel this personally. A nerf to the damage over time component on very high levels of tornado and vine arrows. These were never intended to be dealing damage themselves, but more so act as a way for other skills to propagate damage. Magnetic Salvo can now only use your stuck lightning arrows as opposed to those created by your party members. Oh, I have seen some clips. Yeah, I've seen some clips. That's crazy. As we wind down for the holiday season, we wanted to thank you all for the most successful launch so far. We could not have done it without all of your support. Damn right. A lot of our team will begin to take some much needed rest over the next few weeks, but look forward to getting back in New Year refreshed and ready for an exciting year of development in 2025. Happy holidays, Exiles. And there you have it, guys. I think this is great. I think, again, the 2 biggest complaints that we've been seeing, which, again, white mobs one-shotting and respec costs, they're being addressed. Will it be enough fully? I don't know. Maybe. It's a step in the right direction. And again, don't want to go too far. You don't want to overcorrect and then have to pull it back. So I'm thrilled. I'm excited. We should all be very happy. And we're just going to keep on chugging. I'm going to hopefully get into the end game. I've got a few ideas for some videos hopping around in my head. I'm going to keep live streaming on Wednesdays and Thursdays and hopefully also Saturdays and Sundays when I'm not busy. And beyond that, guys, thanks for checking it out. And yeah, stay classy.